Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and today, you clicked on it, so you know what we're going to be talking about. Today we're going to be talking about C2E2 2020 in Chicago, day one of my adventure here. I've got, as you could tell from the thumbnail, I have the 3-day pass that I got. And this is like I'm on vacation from work. I'm excited to go here. Nervous at the same time because I haven't been out of my comfort zone as far as I'm always out of my comfort zone but I haven't left the area of where I live since Wizard World 2019 in August. And I haven't talked a lot today, and I haven't had much to eat until just recently, and my throat is still dry from from not having anything to drink. The fun part of the video, watching him drink a Fiji water. So I figured I'd just start right from the top because it's been an adventure. It's been an adventure. So topped out the car with gas last night. Woke up. I had my alarm set for 5. I was up at 4:15. Pretty much just gave up sleeping. I was like, you know what? If you try to sleep now, you're just going to wake up and be angry. So I just got up. I watched Clone Wars. I was going to make a video about it, but I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to continue to review it or not. It's good. You know, they're definitely showing that the relationship between Anakin and Padme, and how Anakin was having, Rex keep it a secret for him, even though Obi-Wan knows. We're not here to talk about that. So I got up, I watched that, got myself all together, didn't say goodbye to anybody, just got in the car and left. Threw in R.E.M's Automatic for the People, a CD I hadn't heard in like forever. And I put it in because the very first song is called Drive. So I get down the road, and you know what? The trip here was actually really easy. I got here really quickly without too much of a fuss. There was a moment on the road when I was supposed to go to there's a V, and I was kind of writing it. I was going up the middle of the V before I realized if I go that way, I'm going way out of my way, and I swung over kind of in traffic. So So that happened. And then, but otherwise, we got downtown. I kept going, where's Martin Luther King Drive? Usually the signs are telling you like miles and miles and miles in advance where you're going to see this thing that you need to see. But I just kept driving. I'm like, just keep going. You're going to see it. Stop freaking out. And I got there, and I rolled right up into the parking lot, parked the car, got into C2E2, and it was early. It didn't open till 10, and I was there probably like 7:45-ish, maybe earlier. And so you're standing against you get into the place, you climb all the steps, you climb all the escalators, and then you wait to get into security. Then you get through, so you go, and everybody has to stand in front of security. We had to wait for security to let us all through because it was still so early. We had some local Chicago station from like CW26 or whatever. These kids that were doing like local, it was like really local, like, hi, we're from a Chicago show called The Jam. You guys want to, show how excited you are? It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, man, and nobody feels like going, woo, but they're like, we can't hear you. It's like, man, not all of us have had our fucking Starbucks enema yet, okay? So it was kind of like a subdued woo from everybody, and these people from the Jam marked their territory with a few people and pretended like we were all part of it, which we weren't. And they did their little television thing. We finally get through security, and then we go through all the way around, and we had to wait for another like hour and a half. So before I left, I downloaded a movie from Netflix to watch while I was sitting there waiting, and I knew it was going to be a long wait. But, but I still think it's weird that I decided to watch Zodiac by David Fincher. So I'm sitting in line waiting to get into C2E2 watching a movie about, and, and it's an admittedly really good movie. You know, Fincher, Gyllenhaal, Downey Jr., Ruffalo. It's a fantastic movie, but it's Zodiac, and I'm watching it in a line jammed in with a bunch of people like we're herded in like cattle, and I'm sitting here watching this. I thought that was kind of funny. It's like, why not something lighter? Why am I watching Zodiac of all movies? Admittedly still good. So we finally get in. And of course the cattle all just herd together. We all just charge forward. And before I went in there, I was trying to see where everybody was, and I was looking for Channel Awesome because I'm supposed to be interviewing Brad Jones this weekend, and I think I'm doing it tomorrow. I decided not to do it today because I had a lot going on. I was trying to keep my anxiety at bay while I was in here. So I decided to like scope out comic book area, all the artists and writers and everything. And right away, I run right into Chris Claremont. If you don't know who Chris Claremont is, he is the guy who, for the 70s, 80s, into the 90s, was writing Uncanny X-Men. And he did this, you know, from Phoenix to Dark Phoenix to all the Mutants, Mutant Massacre, Extinction Agenda, all the way, you know. He did an unprecedented run on Uncanny X-Men, and it was the run that I caught near the end, the late 80s, early 90s. I've been trying to get some of the old back issues. So I'm like, screw it. I'm here. Chris is here. There was no line. And so I walked right up to him. I was like, you know, hey man, I just want to, you know, let you know how much I appreciate. The X-Men were the first books I read. Your books were the first books I read. And well, back then I was more interested in Jim Lee's art. After all these years, you know, I come to appreciate the writing more. And he was kind of surprising because he's like, well, you know, people always do that where, you know, they think the writer's the most important thing. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I said back then I didn't, you know, I was all about the art. And he's like, no, it's like all synergetic, and, you know, he's an older guy, so I didn't want to argue. Like, I'm not going to argue with Chris fucking Claremont about, like, what's the right way to like a comic or what opinion. It's synergy, and I was saying, yes, I was just trying to describe, you know, how I felt about it then and how I feel about it now and how it's all come together. And I think he understood that. But I had him sign my Uncanny X-Men 268, which he said to me should be a movie. He's like, this should be a movie. He's like, you got Chris Evans, you got Scarlett Johansson. He's like, whoever you get as Wolverine will probably be good. And he said he thought that Aquafina should be Jubilee. I just went, sure. Sure with the Aquafina. I think she's a little too old to play Jubilee, but maybe. So that's what Chris said to me about this. I didn't get to interview him. I decided to pass on trying to get him for an interview. Then he also signed my Uncanny X-Men 248, which is also going to be signed by Jim Lee tomorrow. And he said about this one that this was a really good issue that, like, you know, he's like, if it, you know, people talk about how it's about Jim Lee's first art, but he's like really proud of the writing in this book as well. So it's just really, really cool to meet the guy that wrote the comics that I loved. I told him, because this is honestly true, this is the first book I ever got out of a long box. Back in 1980, maybe 90? Maybe 90. I only paid $3 for it at the time. So then I kind of I got really caught up because a lot of these guys were really quick to get to, like right off the bat. And so right after Claremont, I went and I found Ben Percy. Ben Percy, who's doing X-Force and Wolverine right now. So like I showed in one of the pictures, he signed my X-Force #1. Okay, so first off, Chris Claremont, it cost $20 for 2 autographs. Ben Percy, the first one is free, and then it's $5 every other one. But I have to go back to him tomorrow because I gave him the Teen Titans that he wrote. That is the first appearance of the Batman Who Laughs, and he forgot to sign it. And I think it was because it had a clear, like it was on the bottom, and we got to talking. Yeah, it's my fault that this happened, I think. So I don't mind paying another like, hey, the first one's free, right? I'll just go up, and he probably won't even fucking remember me. So, maybe he will after how we talked for a minute. But he signed my X-Force #1, and then he signed both two of my other copies of Wolverine #1, the Jim Lee one here, and In Hook Lee. He really likes this one. I told him, yeah, well, anytime I see Wolverine getting flung at a Sentinel, I'm buying it. So I got to go back to him, but to be fair, I also have another copy of X-Force #1 that I'll just have him sign as well. So why not? Because the autographs were really cheap. I couldn't find Hickman. Apparently Hickman only was working at the Marvel booth. So I have to be there. I have to first get to Jim Lee early tomorrow and then immediately get into the Hickman line. Because the plan was to get all the autographs done today so I could just stick around the rest of tomorrow. But I didn't get it all done. Then I got to Livio Remendelli. I was looking for this guy all over the con, and I finally gave in and looked at the map. What's with guys not looking at maps? I know it's a gag, right? It's a gag, but all I had to do was look at the map, and I found him, and I talked to him. And the cool thing is, on Sunday, we will be getting, hopefully, and he said he's down for it. So I'm going to be, as of right now, I'm interviewing him Sunday about his comics. And, you know me, it's going to be improvised for the most part. I'm going to ask him, what got him into comics and blah, 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 what is his favorite things, dream job, whatever. So we're getting an interview with the guy that does the Kill Lock. He didn't charge me nothing for his autograph. So I'm bringing Kill Lock #3 that I haven't even read that's sitting on the bed here behind me. And he was a super cool guy. And he knew, this is for a shout out to Wes at Thinking Critical. He saw your review and he really liked it. Because I told him Wes was the guy who got me into reading Kill Lock. So then I went by James Tinian's booth, got him to sign my Something is Killing the Children. Had to wait a while for his stuff. And speaking of waiting a while, the thing that's there, like, it's for the celebrities, it's for the comic books, it's for anybody that's signing anything, it's the business of it all that sucks. As you're behind, you got 1 or 2 comics you want signed, and there's like 3 or 4 dudes ahead of you, or the whole line's filled with guys full of fucking crates. Like this, this is like, it's business, it's big business, and hey, go ahead, what do you call it, capitalism, yay, and that's fine. But how will this shit ever really be worth anything if everybody's, I'm getting them signed because I love them, and I don't plan on selling them. I'll give them away to I'll leave them to my nieces and nephews, or my, I'm not gonna have kids, so like, their grandkids, if they ever meet Uncle Rob or Great Uncle Rob. And so Tinian was cool. I didn't have anything else for him. I was gonna bring Batman like 86. I chose not to. I gotta pause. I have a coughing fit here. Alright, so next up was Donny Cates. And Donny Cates' line was really long but moved pretty fast, and so I just told him I really was digging Thor right now. I stopped asking the Marvel people for interviews because I talked to Ben Percy and I said, hey, you know, I should go back and talk about Ben Percy for a second. I told him, man, you're the voice of Wolverine. You're killing it with X-Force. You're killing it with Wolverine. You can tell that you really love the character. I'm Rob from Smirking Gun Reviews. Do you do interviews? Because I'd really like to pick your brain about Wolverine. No hot takes, no nothing. And he said I had to go to the Marvel booth and talk to them to get permission because they own him. Is what he basically said. So I will be talking to them tomorrow since I'll be waiting in line for Hickman. But he's really cool, man. He's so personable. He's so dope, man. And I know he's got like pre-set things to say to people, you know, like he's my spirit, Wolverine's my spirit animal and all that, but he's still a really down-to-earth guy. And so I went to Donny Cates, and Donny Cates, you know, like I said, he was really busy, and I didn't want to take up any more of his time. I wasn't going to even presume that I could talk to him. So tomorrow I'm also going to be talking to a lot of independents, because I think those are the ones that you can get interviews with like right away. So he signed my Venom number 3. I'm going to have Stegman sign this. He was not there at the time. I've also got Venom number 1 for him to sign tomorrow, so I'll have Cates and him sign both of those. He also signed my Redneck number 1. And he signed my Thor number 1. He said he's having a lot of fun with it. I had him sign my Thanos number 15. Yeah, bitch. And my Thanos number 14. Where does he sign it? Oh, yeah, I signed it up there. Revenge, it's Cosmic Ghost Rider stuff. So, and yeah, I didn't go to CGC, but I don't care. These are important issues to me. And whether they're actually going to be worth anything later, I don't care. So finally, I'd gone to see Brad at Channel Awesome, and he's like, oh, we can do the interview right now. But the problem was, I had to get to Sean Gordon Murphy's area by 2:30. And I had to check in at the hotel at 4. So I told him that I'd be stopping by sometime Saturday, just to, you know, he's like, anytime that there's like downtime, but Saturday's gonna be really busy, so we'll see. I also have to tell him, you know, just so he knows, like, hey, this is how I do it. You know, like I don't have a other camera or anything like that. We do it on my laptop. I got the microphone right here, so we can be all, you know, close and intimate. And we probably have to go find a table somewhere out of the way for like maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. It depends. I have a lot to ask Brad. It's a lot of different questions. So even if it's Sunday, because that's when I'm doing the Remendelli interview. So I get to Sean Gordon Murphy's line, and it's 5 minutes before he's coming back. He's like 2:30 to 3, and there are these dudes with crates of shit, just all these guys, full, just tons of crap to get signed, and it's not that big a line, but I swear I was in that line. It felt like forever. And he did sign. Now it ends in a cool story. He signed it right there. Nope. Perspective. My Curse of the White Knight number 1. And I told him, I was like, hey man, yeah, I'm Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews. And he goes, oh yeah. And I went, what do you mean? Like, why is he like, yeah, I watched your review yesterday. And the guy standing next to him is like agent or whoever he is. He's like, yeah, he was doing it like at around 4 o'clock right after I put it out there. He's like, yeah, I sat there and I watched it. And he's like, I saw you were like really excited about coming to C2E2. And I was thinking, yeah, right now I should be on a plane coming to C2E2. So he saw my video. He was really happy with it. I asked him which one it was at first. I was like, the really long one or the one that just came out? He's like, the one from yesterday at 4 o'clock. I said, okay, because I did a whole retrospective on your first 6 issues of the book. And so it really, he didn't charge me, I don't think he charged for the autograph. I think it was supposed to be $1 for an autograph, and then it's free if you buy something. But I think we kind of forgot to charge me the $1 because we were talking about it. And I would have paid him whatever he wanted after that for telling me that he watched my video and he liked it. I don't care if he subscribed or not. Sean Gordon Murphy watched my Curse of the White Knight review. He's like, yeah, I watched it because the guy's like, oh, what are you really? You're watching one of your reviews? He's like, yeah, because the guy likes the book. And I told him no, that Let's Get Nuts was not too cringy. That was awesome. And so that's when I left. I left and I was really nervous about getting the cab to the hotel or taking the car to the hotel. I thought I was going to get lost and I didn't know where I was going to park. Even though this is where my anxiety started kicking in. Because earlier I had to figure out how to get out of the parking lot because there didn't look like there was any way to scan my ticket. Yeah. All these things, never haven't been out of into the city in a while, Like I'm a city guy. I'm living in the country and I've been in the country for so long. I'm like countrified without the, the ding dang diddly ding dang dongness of it all. And as soon as I came back to the city though, I mean, I felt it all coming back when I was walking around, like, oh. But anyway, so I took a cab to the hotel. So I wanted to see the route to the hotel. And so I get to the hotel, I get the room. I'm in the room right now, so yeah, of course. I'm not in someone else's room. They're going to walk in a second and be like, what the fuck are you doing? There's somebody in our room. I'm on the 12th floor of the Warwick Allerton Hotel. It's just a simple room. It's very nice, though. They've got Starbucks coffee over there. I had to pay a $60 deposit, but there's a really nice shower. Glass doors, ceramic tiles, super flow jets. That's what I cared about. And I'm way up high getting to look down at the city, taking a shower. So I take a shower and I walk back. I walk all the way back to C2E2. But things went south. Kind of literally. I kept walking and walking and walking. And I saw the turn to McCormick Place, but I knew that was just a turn that I'd still have to go really far. So I kept walking down the Magnificent Mile for a while, and I kept walking. And I don't mind walking, by the way, you guys. I have walked a lot in my life. So a little hoofing it, plus hoofing it in Chicago, full of traffic. I'm feeling it. I'm loving the city. I feel like I could just walk into an apartment and live here tomorrow. Problem was, as I was walking really far and my anxiety started to kick in and going, shouldn't you be turning left to the place? So I turned left to the place, thinking I could just cut down and through. What I didn't know was that I was walking to basically a dead end where I get to the end of the road and there's a road. There's a road that goes through. But it goes through to the trains, where the trains go to park. There is no exit. So it's either walk all the way back and around and then try to get... Because I can see where the hotels are for C2E2. And I thought I'd stay on this sidewalk and it would take me right there, but it doesn't. It takes you to where some of the trains sit overnight. And there's this big black fence. And there's one space, there's one opening in the fence, a clear opening for guys to back in and drive back. And so I go and I look and there's no way to the next road. It's up a hill, train tracks, black fence. So I climb up the hill onto the train tracks. I cross the train tracks. Live train tracks. I literally stood there for a second seeing that there's a fence in the way and there's nowhere to go. But over the fence or back the way I came. And I hear ding, 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 ding. I panicked. I ran to the black fence, made sure that this was all zipped up, tossed it over the black fence, leaped my ass over trees, grabbed the thing. I'm in like a backyard, fenced in backyard for like an apartment complex. Only me, I swear to God, I was saying this to myself as I'm walking down this road. Only you would make this turn onto a dead-end road that you don't know where you're going to come out on. And so, but they had a door to get out, and I'm like, please tell me this fucking door's unlocked. This isn't going to be some security thing. Door opens, I walk out, I get back on track. I get back to the... But here's the thing. I gave up on C2 for the night. I was like, you know what, man? Just get in your fucking car and go back to the hotel. You just you know where C2E2 is. You can get there tomorrow. Just go back to your car, get in your car, and go to the hotel. And to be honest, at that point, I wasn't going to enjoy myself in C2E2. I was just going to be thinking, man, I really dodged a bullet there. So I get in my car. I figure out how to scan my way out. I get right to the hotel. I go through the valet service. I've never been valeted before, ever. I was popping my proverbial cherry on a lot of things today. First time at a downtown magnificent mile hotel. First time getting valeted. First time getting lost in a... and running across. I don't think that's legal. I don't even know if I should be saying this. But I did it. Okay, I had to get there. I had to get back to the car somehow. So I get back to the hotel. They valet me. I come upstairs. I change. And I need something to eat. I posted to Devra, one of my subscribers, that I would be doing a video from the hotel when I got back. And I went to go get something to eat. And I was like, you know what? I know where I'm close to. I want to go to Gibson's Steakhouse. Fuck it. I've never been. Always wanted to. They have no place to sit because it's Friday fucking night. So I walk back and I end up going to Ditka's. But it's good that I went to Ditka's because right next to Ditka's is the hotel I'm staying at tomorrow, and I had questions on where that place was. Well, now I know where it is. It's right down the road. Right down the road from where I am right now, next to Ditka's. Now tomorrow, the only catch is the parking. So we'll leave it there because I have a parking space. But when I went, one of the reasons when I walked down all the way back to C2E2 was to find the street that I'm parking at. And what I noticed was where it looked like the parking is, I didn't see a parking lot. So I'm going to have to, before I go to bed, have to recheck my Google Maps and make sure that when I leave here, I actually go to a place that actually has parking. And I wasn't scammed or something. Or if it's street parking, where do I pay for it? Where do I park for the street parking? So we'll find out. We'll talk about that tomorrow on C2E2 Day 2 Adventure Time. Otherwise, I'm back here. I had a nice steak at Ditka's. Went to Walgreens, grabbed some Fiji water, a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos, and some Krispy Kreme chocolate donuts. And now I'm talking to you guys. And regaling you the tales of Rob at C2E2 because I swear to God, only I could do some of this shit. So, if you liked this little video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe if you're not a subscriber to Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. Otherwise, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow with more C2E2 action. And I think I'm going to do, we'll be at a different hotel, and I think I'm going to try to do my comic book reviews for the week at the hotel tomorrow. So have a great night, everybody. I'm hopefully going to be able to sleep. It's very quiet for being in the middle of the city. The only sounds I heard were sirens. And I can handle sirens. So, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you on the next video.